Boop-a-doop-boop.
Welcome to the Unwind Online podcast. I'm Tiz.
I'm Shakey, and this is episode 4. Episode 4? Episode 4.
No,
Yeah.
is it
We're on episode 4
already?
now. Yeah, episode
Oh,
4.
yeah.
No, we've done 3, and this one is going to be ever so slightly different, so we don't have the little funky audio thing at the bottom, sadly, because I was obviously not prepared for this, but Tiz is away at the moment,
Well,
so you'll notice
technically,
that...
I was supposed to be prepared and didn't. We can. It was a dual effort of neither one of us fully sharing the information till like 10
No.
minutes before we did this.
No,
Great.
and I think it looks fine. Tiz is obviously away on her travels at the moment, so it doesn't have the same background or setup, or might look
I'm
a
in a
little bit
hostel bed.
different. She's out and about in Europe at the moment.
I don't know what this is actually. It's a flower or some wheat.
I've not been in a hostel for years and years, but like just from the corner of that room there, it already looks like hostels are like you've picked a good hostel, or at least a decent.
This is one of the nicest hostels that I have been in
Right.
a long, long time. Like I've been in some like I've paid like $2 for a hostel, and it's a $2 hostel.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
you get what
this
you
one's
pay for.
actually this one's 25 a night, which is not bad.
That's good.
But the best part of it is it has hot showers and the water pressure is amazing.
That's
So
good. That's good. That's good. Anyway, how do we? Okay, so should we talk then? Do we want to kind of talk? Do you want to talk a little bit about what's been going on in your world in the last week?
sure, it's
Because
crazy that it's like we like had an episode last week. At least for me. I know you've been doing you've been doing a lot more streaming and stuff too. So like I feel
yeah,
like
I
this
think
week has felt like a month.
I think the problem was when it comes to like for this, we were like, okay, let's keep getting these out, and then you were like, I'm traveling, and I've just started this big mega event that I'm doing over May, so none of us have got either time to do anything to do with this. So I'm glad we're getting some time together to do this.
Well, and I do like that like it all of these times where we like still manage to make this work, I do feel like fits in with our whole podcast theme anyway though, right? It's like
Mhm.
this idea that like life is crazy and as streamers sometimes there's a lot going on in our
Yeah.
lives, whether it's like other life or event or travel, and so we just kind of do these behind the scenes. I just walked back from the beach, so I've got sand in my hair, and it's a pretty rough life right now. But
She's sending me photos of like just the her at the beach with like reading a Kindle, and it's like miserable, and I'm dealing with like
so
shit at home.
I was supposed to go on 11-mile hike this morning, but I just bought. Do you know about barefoot shoes?
Are they the ones where it's like where like the toes are almost built into no?
That's like a type of barefoot shoe.
Right.
Basically,
Okay.
just means it has zero drop. So like, there's no. Most shoes have like a lifted heel. So
Yeah.
like when you walk, you're able to heel strike first because there's like extra padding. So like a zero drop shoe is flat, and the soles are thinner, so you can like feel the ground. And my thinking was like, ooh, zero drop shoes or like barefoot shoes means lighter. They're lighter shoes, easier to travel with, but I haven't worn them before. So I went from like 0 to 100 from not wearing them to then getting a pair and wearing them around. And so my legs have been like the sides of my shins and my feet as I'm trying to learn how to like walk differently have really hurt. So I signed up to do there's this gorge hike that's supposed to be really, really pretty, but it was 11 miles. So last time I was like freaking out, like, I don't know if this is smart. And so I did the respectable thing that a person in their 30s does and went, I should prioritize my body and health over dragging
Always.
my feet for some views.
Always prioritize, especially your feet. Yeah, the feet
Not
are.
me. This is the first time in my entire life I have ever done this. I am like the like all or nothing. And so when I travel, I'm like, I'm gonna do the hardest hike and I'm gonna like I hiked to a volcano in like Nike trainers. Like I normally give no fucks.
I think
But
maybe this is just a sign of your age.
that 33rd birthday.
Because Tiz celebrated a happy birthday for Monday. It was Monday, wasn't it? No, Sunday. It was Sunday.
Sunday.
May
Yeah.
the 4th. Tiz's birthday.
Yes. Thank you.
So
thank you.
you
I was
brought
saying, then
in.
we'll have your birthday here soon. We're both May
Yes,
babies.
we are. There's loads of birthdays in May. Loads going on at the moment. Loads of community members we're celebrating this week. But you, one of your kind of favorite pastimes is to celebrate your birthday on the beach, isn't it?
Hmm.
And so this
I
was
can't
a
remember. Look, I've got cherry juice.
sour
It's
cherry
sour
juice as
cherry.
well.
It's just a little juice box. I needed sugar, so I went and got a juice box. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I
don't
like
mind
it.
me.
But
Yeah, I don't
yes,
remember if we talked about it last
I
podcast
think we might have
at all.
touched on it briefly. Yeah, but you got to
Yeah,
do it.
but yeah. So yeah, my thing when I
Very
turned
artistic
30,
shot
I
of her in
decided.
the shallow blue waters.
Yeah, I decided that I didn't want to have to like plan birthdays and like try to figure out parties. And, like I don't know, parties in my 20s always felt like a little bit disappointing. So I was like, you know what? When I turned
And a
30,
lot
I
of my
didn't want to be
20s were disappointing in general.
were they
Yeah.
they just
Mistakes and regrets and
either
bad life
just with too
choices.
much
Yeah.
alcohol
Yep.
or just like plans fell through. So I was like, you know what? When I turn 30, I'm gonna only be at beaches for my birthdays. So I did Costa Rica the first year, and then I did Portugal, and then Bahamas last year, and then this year is Greece. I went to Crete. Went to these pretty. The beach was called. I say everything wrong, but I think Elafonisi,
Okay.
and it was supposed to be pink sands beaches, and I found like a couple little patches of pink sand. Pink
It'd been
sand, but
like worn
apparently
out by feet.
yeah, either like wind, but also there's a lot of signs all over the beach that say like don't take the pink sand. So I think
People were.
probably a fair amount of tourists have
Yeah.
probably like taken home sand.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so it was lovely. Sunday was perfect. I did my beach day. Supposed to do my hike today, and instead I walked to the beach here that's close in town and just sat and read my book. So I bit my
So,
tongue.
oh wow, that's a face. Wow, we've got a thumbnail. I've got a thumbnail already. Amazing. That's perfect. I
No.
can. That was all kinds of
Oh,
faces. No, look, I'm glad
I
you're
got just the tip.
just the tip. I'm glad you're enjoying. You met are these, and there was people. Do you know these people? Have you
Yeah.
just met them,
So
or?
so it's kind of funny. I don't know if so I just released my because I'm doing vlogs of my
Mm-hmm.
travel. So I just released my second vlog episode. And
Plug.
in it at the beginning, I was like, I don't like
Mm.
hostels anymore because I don't like people. I don't like meeting people. I have met so many people here. And most of them have been lovely. I've met the most Americans I have ever met while traveling. Like normally I meet like one or two other Americans,
But,
whatever it is about Greece. There's been like 6 or 7 of them.
but where are you meeting them? You're not just walking up to them on the street. Where are you?
No, in the hostel. See,
Okay.
and that's the cool thing about hostels too, is like if you're going to a place where you don't know a lot, like another thing, meeting people and but then also doing planning things. So like a lot of times hostels will run like the tour I was going to do to go hike this gorge was run through the hostel. Like they set it up with the travel agency and then people like pick you up from the hostel and they take you on the buses and the ferries and everything that you need. So what's really cool is that like by staying at a hostel, you can kind of it's almost like having a tour guide house. So a lot of places that you go to, they'll have recommendations for like just like best places to eat in the town or like where you should go.
Yeah.
And this hostel, what they do a really good job at, they actually have a WhatsApp group. So like when you sign in, you can scan the QR code and it puts you in the WhatsApp group. And so this hostel's been really good about people being like, "Hey, I have a rental car and I'm going to this beach. Does anybody want to join?" And then people will just be like, "Yeah, I'm coming."
That's pretty cool.
So
It's a
yeah,
good idea socially, isn't it?
and they have a really big common room. Like this hostel has a pool and then like a kind of it has 2 kitchens and then like a common room, like couch work area too. Which, like I've said, one of the better hostels I've
I
been
was
to
gonna say,
in a
yeah,
long
this
time.
doesn't sound like a hostel.
It's structured really, really well. It feels like a co-working hostel kind of at the same time. Because apparently
Mm.
there's even like a co-working office in one of these buildings. They have a lot of rooms. But like the other night I just went and was sitting on the bean bags in there and I heard some people talking and heard an American accent and then inserted myself into the conversation. I was just like, "Oh, you're from there? Well, nice to meet you." Blah 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 blah. And then I was like, "I heard you guys were going to this beach. Do you mind if I tag along?" And they're like, "Oh no, of course." And so I
This was third wheeling then.
no, I was like fourth or fifth wheeling because that's kind of how it works at hostels. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people,
you just
so like
congregate,
two
don't
of
you?
them.
Yeah.
It was a French girl and a guy from Italy, but they both live in France, and they had met like on the plane on the way over, and then they roped in another American that I had hung out with the day before, and so since I kind of knew part of the group, then I was like, "Can I come?" And then it was great. So they all spent my birthday with me. That
That's really
was
nice.
a good
That's
time.
nice. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So you're having a
Sorry, I'm
good
trying not
time
to
then?
blab too much.
No, you're having a good time because ultimately, for anyone watching this as well, like Tiz and I usually speak quite a lot in the week anyway, and have chats on the phone quite a lot or on Discord. So this is almost like just a catch up for us as well because we've not really spoken to each other in
Yeah.
a week,
I would
which
say
is
we
really
snapped
weird.
a couple
Yeah,
times, been like, "How's it going? Okay, cool." Like I've popped into your streams, but just been
been
busy.
it's been a weird week. It's been
Yeah,
weird,
I would
but
say, how's your streaming the megathon thing going too?
yeah. So I'm doing
Is
this
it fun?
megathon thing, and I thought I'd just like there's a chance for me here to do a bit more streaming whilst I've got the time, and if I do like a subathon type event over the course of a month.
Is this your first
Um,
one?
yeah,
I
well,
don't feel like you do very many.
well, no, I've sometimes done like 24-hour ones where it runs all the way through the night, but this is
Yeah.
I think a lot of what Twitch streamers do these days, and this is good Twitch information, anyways. I notice a lot of streamers when they do subathons or these donathons and that is they do uncapped timers, but they stop the clock each time they stop, but they just do more streams in the week rather than keep the camera rolling
Yeah.
overnight and that.
Well, it's kind of interesting. I actually saw it was either a Reddit post or a Twitter post or something of somebody who was like kind of angry about it, who
Oh,
was
really?
talking about how the new way of doing subathons is kind of ruining the spirit of it, which I both agree and disagree, right?
Mm,
Like it's kind of true that it's not a true like, the way that I do my 24-hour streams where it's like I go to sleep in the middle and the 24 hours includes my 4 or 5 hours of sleep in the middle.
yeah.
Like, is it a true 24-hour stream?
I think,
Yes,
but for me though, what it
but
is like with this subathon, it's what I'm finding, or I'm calling it a megathon, is that I've set all these incentives and goals out, and what it allows me to do is by having them like 5 or 6 times a week, but not keeping the camera rolling, it means I can be better prepared for all of these incentives I've got to do, and also it means I'm not completely washed out by like day 4 or 5. And I
yeah,
think you start to notice when streamers are on the air for like 48, 72 hours, they look like they just want to die, or they just want to be like, I don't, can you just stop the timer
yeah,
now? Yeah. Yeah, and I was speaking to like Joy was saying because Joy's been doing it, and Elfie's been doing one recently. Two members of the Second Breakfast Society stream team, and they're doing the same thing. They'll do streams and they'll clock off and stop the hours and carry on the next day. But
yeah.
I've already had a lot of the community say they really like the fact that like I did a Friday afternoon one, which was really nice for a few hours on Friday.
Mhm.
Did a Sunday night one, and what it also means is that I'm being able to hang out with people that I don't always hang out with, or raid streamers that I never get to raid, and that's quite nice because I feel I'm giving back to people who always raid me and I can't raid them
Yeah.
back just because of times.
Well, and that was when the person made that point about that post, those were my points that I made. I was like, well, yes, maybe it's not like that you just stream all the time and your stream never stops, but I think one, you have fun incentives, like the stream is a little bit different than it normally is. It's not like there's usually extra things rather than your just traditional stream. And that also then your times are different. Like you're usually streaming
Yeah.
longer or you're streaming different days. And so the
And
I think
it's
it still is a shakeup. Like personally, I think it's kind of like a new kind of subathon that focuses a little bit more on self-care. So I'm all for it.
it's
But
self-care,
I
it's
just
mental
thought it was an
health.
interesting
Yeah.
kind of take,
And
which
you know what's interesting
it's
as
been
well
more of that.
is that, and
What?
I've said this to, is it what's been interesting? I said this to the guys on Sunday, is that I just tell people in the Discord or on my socials what time I'm going live. Like I'll after this, if I in the day I might say, "Oh, I'm going live at like 6 o'clock tonight or 4 o'clock this afternoon." But not having a scheduled game feels quite freeing, and I feel it's quite nice because I'm like I go on, and I'm like, sure, okay, let's do this, and I don't feel like I
You're
think
doing what I
I
normally do
think
in
I'd
streams
almost
anyway.
got to a point where scheduling was almost like my lifeblood, and if I didn't do it, people wouldn't know what I'm playing. But then I think people actually quite enjoy the fact that they don't know what's going to be played, and they might come in the stream and be like, "What are we doing today?" And I'm
Well,
like, "Well, could do this or could do this. I don't really know."
and I think it's that whole to me, that lends more towards building community, right? Because people are there for your stream, whatever you're doing, regardless, not like, oh, I see he's playing Elden Ring, so I'm going to go check it out. Like, I think, and Twitch is always going to be that way, that you're going to have some viewers that come in for the game or for the topic. But I don't know. I agree that I like doing it in that way because then you're
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, people just want to hang out regardless what we're doing. And that as a community, then you can kind of decide like what sounds the most fun. And then are you doing community games? Are you having a poll where you decide to play something different or yeah.
But what I find interesting is that like when we went to TwitchCon, obviously we're both going to TwitchCon at the end of this month, which isn't a lot far away now.
It's getting what day is
It's
almost the
the it's
7th,
it's
so
the
we have
it's the 6th day,
how many days?
so
What's our
1, 2, 3,
countdown?
3 weeks, and well, I mean 3 weeks and 2 days I'll be arriving in Rotterdam. 3 weeks and 3 days is the Friday. 3 weeks and 4 days till the Saturday. So yeah,
That's so
exciting. It's
exciting.
very exciting, and
We have to do an in-person episode there
I
where we
think
just
so.
find a place to like post up.
I think so.
And I have
We'll
2 of these little lapel mics, so you can use
have
the
you
other
got another one of them?
and
Oh, amazing!
yeah, I got 2,
Yeah.
so we can just do our we can
I
just
might
post it
actually,
up on
I might hit you up on those ones
I don't know
because
how
they
we
look
would
pretty
record
cool.
it.
I'm ordering. I've got to order a gimbal this week for my do the walking around live streaming and things like that as well.
That is the one thing that I went and looked at them before I left to travel.
They're pretty
I don't
good.
have it,
They're pretty
but I
good because they
kinda
can
wish I did.
smooth. It's so smooth. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm doing instead is I'm making like really short clips. Like I'm kind of like bloop, 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 bloop. Like
It's
here's
good
just a
though.
little
It's
bit
good.
of everything.
I think people just
Otherwise,
enjoy.
my videos are like
Hey guys, come with me.
I'm walking down the street and there's lots of cobblestones.
But going back to the schedule. So last year when we went to TwitchCon, one of the talks we went to was, and it was like path to partner and growing your audience. They were like, tell people when you're live, get those schedules out. But it was less on the schedule. It was more like tell people when you're going live. If you have a schedule, people know. But what I've noticed is that like yourself and a few other partners is you tell people when you're likely to go live, but you don't ever say really. You don't necessarily have to feel that you say what game you're playing. And I've noticed that probably 8 out of 10 partners probably don't put a game on their schedules. They just be like, I'll be live at 7:00 tonight.
I just have
and that's it. And I wonder if I've become
Thursday, 12:30 p.m. That's it.
I became so insistent on a schedule, which I don't get me wrong. For anyone thinking of streaming, I think schedule is good and times are good, but I think I focused too much on the game and I don't need to anymore. Because I was worried that people wouldn't turn up, but then at the end of the day, the community members, the viewers that you want, are the people that are there for you rather than the game. And I mean, you'll get some people and some people will say, I'm here for the game, and you might see them, if you're playing a game once a week, they'll come back on that day every week. Yeah. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with using Twitch that way, but the community members who are going to be there for you every stream will be there, not because of the games you're playing.
Well, and I do think that is Twitch, that's kind of the way that it works, right? Is that like, there are people that are on Twitch for different reasons. Like some of them are there because they want to see gameplay of a new game or something specific, and then there are some that are there for a community. Some it's like for a specific vibe, or like it's because they like crafting or chill streams or whatever it is. And I think what's the most important is just finding what feels most authentic and good to you, right? Like at the beginning, for me, I think I tried to show up a lot more kind of like high energy, and I have noticed the more I stream, the more I've realized that I just like doing more cozy streams. Like I do a lot of crafting streams, and like sometimes I do fitness stuff, but like it's not as like you do, I think. And that's where we joke about how I'm the cozy, you're the crazy, like,
sus. She calls me sus. Yeah.
Well, because like you have like I downloaded Tangia, I used it for maybe a week, and it overwhelmed me so badly, and I was like, I can't, because like there would be jump scares while I'm in the middle of a cozy game, and I just couldn't do it. And so I think it's important for anybody streaming or just in general to just know that it's just whatever works for you, and that you can just find your audience as long as you are being authentic. Because I think that's where burnout happens, is when you're like, oh, I'm going to try to do it this one way because I think I see it working for somebody else. But if it doesn't work for you, then it's not going to work long term in general.
But I think that's what we come back to what we said last week, where we were like, as you go through this streaming journey, the way your streams look and how you are and the stuff having on screen changes and it becomes more minimal. And a lot of streamers probably do start high energy when they first start streaming, and then they kind of almost settle into themselves and find their niche, find their cozy.
People have energy the whole stream though, but
I know how they bloody do it. Yeah, I think that's just them. That's fiery.
Like,
yeah.
This is a
plug socket. Oh, it's a light. Oh, you meant the flower. I think that's a flower behind you. Plant.
Yeah, there's a flower. This is I have my plug in here, and then this is the light switch. I keep whacking my head on it.
Nice.
Sorry.
But yeah, anyway, it's been good so far. I mean, I'm back on tonight, but we were just like I've played
Well,
also.
thanks,
I mean,
thanks for making time for a little
I've
chat.
been no, you're welcome. You're welcome. I've
I
been
left my
obviously.
beach for you, okay?
Oh, you can go back to it at any point. Come on.
I will.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I've been surviving off of dolmas. Have you had they call them something else here though, the like rice wrapped in a grape leaf?
Oh, I know of them. Yeah, yeah. The big
Yeah, yeah.
kind of olive looking leaf that goes around it, and you eat
Yeah,
it.
they're like this
Yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah. Hmm.
Um, that they sell them at the store here. You can just get tins of them. So that was my snack. I just like shoveled like 4 dolmas in my mouth, grabbed some
Nice,
cherry juice, and I was like, all right, we're
nice,
ready.
nice. That's good though. It's good. It's good. How so? I like. Are you? Because this is the first time you've travelled in what, about a year?
A year and a well, so I did my big like Europe thing where I like lived in UK and Sweden for a bit. And that would have been not last year, but the year before. And then so then I to got to the US or like September. And so then I've been in the US almost the whole year except for my Bahamas birthday trip. So this is the first time I've like done a big travel thing again with like my
Hmm.
little minimalist backpack.
Hmm.
I'm out of practice. Like the
I
amount of
will say
I
though.
I forgot my debit card.
Oh, well, that's just stupid. That's
I
just.
I would just straight up because I have my credit
But
cards and I use
it
my
is a
phone all the
stress.
time,
It's a stress that
but
I
like I
know how
just
much you were
never use
stressing.
them.
You were stressing a couple of days before, weren't you?
Yeah. Well,
And
and it's one of those things. Most places you don't need it. I will say that like I have
just do your phone. Boop.
technically only needed cash once, but then I ended up canceling it. It was for the tour thing, but I canceled it anyway, so I didn't actually need it. And mostly some of the places here in Greece, and I've never had this happen while I travel, but my credit card won't work. Like it won't accept American credit cards, but it will accept tap with your phone because the facial recognition already like verifies it, if that makes sense. I don't know. So there's been a couple times my card hasn't worked, but then like my tap phone has worked.
That's interesting. There's different cards.
Um,
I mean, obviously we're in Europe here,
yeah.
and a lot of our banks have got like I've got a European card for my English bank, so I just load some money onto that, and then that works in wherever through my bank account. So obviously it's a bit different between
Well,
US and Europe,
so that was my one saving grace was that I met my mom in Greece when I
which
first
is
got here.
nice. Yeah.
But she gave me some cash just in case. So that was like
So are you not?
okay.
So
At
like,
least I have some euros that so I'm not screwed.
so what are you
But
done? What are you done with your mum? Where is she?
um we did a lot of Athens things.
Nice,
She's also gluten free, so we went around and found a lot of really good gluten free restaurants.
nice, nice.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah.
And went and saw the Parthenon. That
Yes.
was really exciting. Like the whole Acropolis is really cool. Like the view from up there is amazing. I was only there for 2 days. I had my like hell travel, which I just released that vlog. But then yeah, so finally got there, did a couple days in Athens, and then flew out 2 days later to Crete. And I've been here for 3, 4 days. And then I fly back to Athens tomorrow. I'll be there for a couple of days, and then I've been saying my next location is a surprise. I mean, you know, but nobody
Mm.
else knows.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. But
Shh.
hang on. But so are you seeing your mum again? Is your mum still
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Athens? Yeah.
mhm,
Nice.
yeah. They're there till the 13th, I think. So I'll fly back there,
That's
crash on
cool.
their Airbnb couch.
Nice. Nice. But so you didn't have the smoothest of journeys over, did you? Had a bit of a shitstorm by the sounds of it.
A bit of a shitstorm
Mm.
indeed.
Mm. Which can really that physically and
I
mentally
just
that can really knock you on the head.
I've been so tired. That's partially why I think this today was actually it was good not to do this big hike is because like I didn't really realize how just like mentally exhausted I've been.
Yeah. Yeah. I can
And so I
imagine.
was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I kind of need some time to just like I haven't had a full night's of sleep either. Like the first is basically really long story short, and if you want to see the details, it's in the vlog. But
Go check the
my
vlog out.
first flight was delayed by 2 hours. My second flight was delayed, but then moved back a day,
Oh
and
my
so I needed to
god.
catch my second one to catch my flight here to Greece. So I was able to sprint through the airport to catch a flight to a different airport in New York. And then at 1 a.m., I Ubered to the other airport, which the airline just reimbursed me though. So
That's
for
good. I
my
was going to say,
tourism.
is there any kind of reimbursement? So
They
yeah,
weren't
okay.
going to, but I was like, "Hey,
Hold on a
I
minute.
was not supposed to be at this
Do
airport.
you know
This is
who I
your
am?
fault.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah. So I got my money back for that, and then my flew. It was a 9-hour flight. Got into Athens, but then also my plan. So I was supposed to go up to Thessaloniki to go hang out with some friends instead, but that fell through.
Oh
So
no.
and I already had that flight, so I had to cancel it. But I tried to change it and I fucked up. You're supposed tip a lot of times make sure you understand the fine print because it's better to actually cancel and then sometimes get a waiver because by doing a change thing I had to pay an extra 35 euros change fee plus like my flight difference on top of my flight plus my new flight, so I ended up spending $175 for my flight here instead of 60, which I was just I talked to them at the airport. I almost cried. I didn't, but I was like,
Well
"Look,
done. Good.
this is so not." And they're like, "Well, we can't do anything once they process." I think I probably could have pushed it, but I'm not that kind of person. I crumble under pressure, and I was like, "Okay, fine. I'm fine. Whatever." but
I think it's
I
just the,
tried.
but I think it's the fact that you're like, you just want to get to you had this all
Yeah,
planned
like I
out, and
just
look,
wanted to get
none of it
there.
went to plan, and then you
Yeah.
spent all that
Well,
money.
and
Hey, at least you
so
didn't
all
spend
the time in Athens.
120 quid on hoodies at the zoo.
Jesus.
We'll come back to that in a minute. Yeah, go on.
But yeah, and so I've been waking up at like 2 a.m. too, and then can't sleep because I'm still in the old time zone. So I'm like,
Mm.
finally started. Well, I don't. Now what I did is because I've been at the hostel and people like to stay out and hang out later. I've been staying up till like 1 and then passing out, and I've been able to get a little bit of sleep.
Yeah, because
But yeah, it's been
it's about
draining,
it's a 9 hour difference ultimately because you were 7 hours behind
which is
me
almost
and
like a harder switch
you're
than
now 2 hours ahead of
before.
me, which is weird for me as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, hey, Tiz, you free tonight? You're like, no, it's bedtime. I'm like, oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, you messaged me that you were free. It was like past midnight. I was like,
Yeah, but it wasn't for me. So
yeah, except for the flight time
how
here in
about
the
we
hospital is
think about
11,
my
so
schedule
it's
for
like
once? We've always ran on Tiz's schedule.
I can't. No, it's not me. I would have stayed up. The hostel, it's lights out and quiet time at 11, so I couldn't be
Do they
noisy. I had to
like
be.
come around and tell you
Mhm.
off? Oh,
Yeah, there's actually like a dude that like stays at the front desk to like, which is
check.
honestly really
There's no
nice
naughty
because there's a
business
lot of
going
the
on. No
hostels
randy
that
business
don't.
going on. Yeah.
But that actually the room rules. I don't know if I can read them from here, but they are hilarious.
Are they?
Like, what is
Get
this
'em.
one? I don't know if you can still hear me from leaning over
I can
here,
hear
but
you. I
they
can hear
say
you.
no, I don't know if I can read it here. But basically it's like no food and drink, but like absolutely no sex. This is not your private like there are private rooms for this. Like you
What, there are private
they're
rooms that
really
they have
sassy about
like
it.
reserved for sex? So
Well,
like
no,
if you go
there's just
like we're just
private
gonna
rooms.
use that room. Does anyone need it for between 5 and 6?
No, you can just book you can book a private room.
Clock it
They're
in.
like, if that is what you're doing, they're like, and on
I
there
get
they'll
you.
be like, your bunk beds don't want to hear you. Seriously. Like they can all hear you. We all know it. Like
Yeah.
it's so sassy. It's so funny. But
It
I'll have to
sounds
send you a
like a
picture of
decent.
it.
It sounds like a decent hostel though. Sounds good.
No,
So
it's great. The two kitchens is and they're really really well stocked. I've been trying to like remember hostel meals.
wait, is
like
it? Hang on.
what do you eat?
So they have food there as well,
No, well, so
or
the
like
way that
is it
Oahu
like
works is
staple
you do have a
ingredients like
kitchen.
cupboard staples?
Not really, but what there
Hmm.
is like so when people leave, if you don't finish all your food, they have like a free food cabinet, so you can put your food in the free food section for other people to take. So you can always check it. Like there's one of the friends that I've made here just raids the free food pantry. So like he just raided it the other day, made some pasta, and then he found some flour in there, so he made some bread. Like he's just been
My
eating out of
God.
the free food cabinet.
Just
And
make some bread like that. Oh my
yeah,
God.
it was. I mean, it looked like it turned out. I mean, I didn't eat it because I'm gluten free, but yes, there's two shops that are like a minute walk away. So I walked down there. I've been eating domas, canned beans, and pouches of rice, and that's my protein. And then a lot of rice crackers and cheese.
Nice.
I've
Nice.
almost eaten a whole package of rice crackers. I didn't even think
Aggressively
of you.
eating rice crackers, just like your bestie. Yes, lovely.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah,
think of you.
yeah.
I
It's taught her
tried.
that.
I tried putting cheese on it and microwaving it to like melted cheese on it. It stales out the cracker a little bit, but it's
I
not
was gonna
bad.
say, I think it'd make it super dry, wouldn't it?
I think it would be
Drier
better if
than it
you like
already is.
boiled it. Like you just kind of like broil the
Yeah,
top of
yeah,
the
yeah.
cheese to the.
But
But
look, you're eating, which is good. You're
uh-huh.
not starving to death. You're there, even though it was
Mhm.
a bit more money out of pocket and a bit of a stressful journey. Do you feel? Because I find that when it comes to holidays and journeys and things like that, I don't usually relax until like day 2 or 3 that I'm there, and I feel like I'm just kind of like on a come down, especially if it's been a bad journey there.
Yeah. Well, like it's kind of interesting because, well, for me, the way that I travel, I don't feel like it really feels. It's not really a holiday. It doesn't like it's not a vacation. I'm kind of just like living out here for a while, you know? It's like I have a one way. I don't know when I'm coming back. Could be a month, could be 2 months, could be longer, right? So like
Mhm.
it's weird to be in weird it's kind of like limbo land at the
Yeah, yeah,
moment.
yeah.
And because I feel like I'm like relearning how to do this, it's just felt weird. In some ways, it's really refreshing. Like like remembering what I love about like as much as I was like, oh, poo poo, I don't like meeting people in hostels because people. It's actually been really
Damn
nice,
people. I'm
and I forget how much I enjoy like meeting people from other countries and having really fun
That's
conversations.
good.
What sassy thing did you just say?
The people, no, I agree. Because on Saturday, I was like, I hate people, I hate everyone. I want to go home, and I was just like, yeah, people irritate me. So the
So what
fact
did
that
you
you've
do
already,
on Saturday? Was that your
well,
zoo day?
it was the zoo day. It was fucking disaster. It was a nightmare. Yeah,
But you got hoodies, lots of hoodies.
I had to. We left, and
You
it's
introed this before, so now
it was an
now
hour. The zoo's about an hour away, which is fine. The journey was terrible anyway because there was loads of problems on the roads. And then we got there, and the weather turned out to be exactly not what we thought it was, and we weren't prepared. So we were all in t-shirts and shorts and stuff, and it was
Mhm.
freezing. So we made a beeline right for the gift shop, and then I had to spend
Yeah, yeah.
120 quid to buy 4 matching hoodies. So that was a great start to the day.
I bet you guys
Now,
look so cute though.
yeah, I bet other people were like, oh, look at the geeks they're wearing their like matching hoodies. But you
All
know,
from the zoo.
when it comes to zoo, like I know some of the money will go for the upkeep of the zoo or the conservation of animals, which is fine because I'm
Yeah,
all
yeah.
about that and I love animals. But it is not what I needed. I'm not in a job at the moment of like 120 quid on hoodies. And then people
Yeah.
were just assholes at the zoo. People were really, really, really shitty at the zoo.
At
They were
the
like,
zoo?
yeah, but not like I don't even think. I think my idea of like being conscious of people around me and being
Mhm.
respectful is very different from a lot of other people, I guess, or
Yeah, yeah.
just people don't think. And people will just stand in the way. I've got 2 kids and couldn't even get the kids to some of the front of the exhibits because there was like people, like adults standing there looking like, or they had these massive cameras with long lenses right in front. I was like, come on, let my 2-year-old see the chimpanzee. Move out the way, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just really shitty. And then there was so many people in the chimpanzee house that it was overcrowded, and someone hit me with a pushchair, and then I fell backwards. But I fell, and there was nothing to grab onto, so I was like falling for a long time. Like I was like a 70-year-old, like slowly falling backwards. And everyone stopped, looked around at me, and then a guy caught me just before I landed on his baby, which is great because I almost fell on a baby, so that was brilliant. It was just a day. It was really, and I hated everyone by the end of the day. I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I prefer to be at home. I want to be in my own space. I don't like people at
So,
all. People are irritating. And I spent a lot
how
of
old
money.
are you? You sound like a 70-year-old crotchety old grandpa right
I'm gonna
now.
be 39 this month.
Get off my lawn.
Gonna be 40 next year. I was cleaning today,
Oh,
and I pulled my back, and I was like, oh, and then I couldn't go to the gym today because I pulled my back, and I
oh.
had to do some exercises at home and lie down and stretch because closing in on 40 now. So
Well, I mean,
that's
welcome to my
fantastic.
life. I have back problems
Yeah,
every
but
day
you're
already.
not
So
40 though. So and
yeah, I'm not even on that
you're
old
living a
anymore.
fun free life in Greece.
Actually,
There's a bit of a
my
difference
back has been feeling a little bit better. I almost
magically.
either my bed at home is too soft, and that's or I have been walking like I just went to check my phone. I was like, where's my steps? Um, the most steps I've walked in a day is probably like 21,000,
That's
but
pretty
on
good.
average, it's like 8 or 9,000 steps. Like
That's
today, I
good.
think I've done 16,000. So like I'm walking so much more, and so I think my body, like my back, feels a lot better because I think the like arthritis buildup stuff was coming from streaming and sitting so much that
It
my
could
like
also be
flexor triceps.
it could all be also sleeping like you say though, because I really don't get on with soft beds. I feel like I need a much harder bed. Just
Agreed.
yeah. And anyway,
Yeah,
one
I'm
thing I
over
want to
for it.
talk about, because
Wait, but
obviously we're talking about
wait. There's a question
oh,
I had about the zoo. Hold on. Mm,
what animals is that?
what was your favorite animal? Oh, that wasn't
My
gonna be my question. I thought it was something, but
I think my favorite animal. What would be my favorite animal that we saw there? Actually,
it's cool
I
to see the chimpanzees.
because
But
the zoo is like a primate specialist zoo. So there were gorillas, orangutans, chimpanzees, tamarins, gibbons, bonobos, all that sort of stuff. And
I used to be obsessed with lemurs.
yeah, lemurs were there,
Lemurs are cool.
and they were like the gorillas are quite incredible. When you see a gorilla up close, it's
Yeah.
just they're so imposing. It's wild. The orangutans we couldn't. I love orangutans, but we couldn't really see them that well. The giraffes were quite amazing because they came right over to us. The giraffes did, that was cool. But it's the rock. And it always is. It's like it's the penguins. It's like the rock hopper penguins because they love the attention. Like we were standing.
Penguins?
We were standing there, and then they all hopped up and then walk over to you, and then they go down in the water, and you can see where you get to see the glass where they're all in front of you. The kids loved it. The penguins are great. We saw some tigers as well, which was good, and rhinos. We saw quite a lot. It was good,
What was
but
your favorite?
I think
Did you didn't like the
probably
people? Like, you gotta have like at least an animal that you like.
I think the giraffes I liked a lot.
Oh, nice.
There's something about giraffes I like.
So, zoos are so hard for me because I love
Although
animals, but that's also it always makes me kind of sad.
there's
'Cause
still there's a big talking point about zoos still. There always is, and this links to the bigger kind of zoos that have had poor records. A lot of the zoos
it
now are
depends on like
focused
the
on
care
their
of the animals and
the
everything.
conservation of endangered species. Like this one tells you how endangered they are and what they're doing to help the efforts towards it, which is good. I tell you the one I did see, which I really like because they're quite rare out in the wild, is the snow leopards.
Oh, those are
Because
so
because they're so cool. Like they were just like lying there with their paws, their massive paws, like drooped over the side, and they're just because they're quite rare out in the wild anyway. They're obviously
yeah.
mountainous creatures, so it was pretty cool. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's nice. It's nice to see them, but also it's just a shit day for grumpy old me. But anyway, listen.
Enjoy the small things. I just met some British. There's been a lot of British folks around here too. I shared a spot on the beach with this little old British lady. I walked up because she was like the only shady spot on the beach, and pasty me. I think I've gotten a little color, but also I burn so easily,
Yeah.
and the UV index or whatever is super high because that's something that as a 20-year-old I didn't even know existed, and now I'm like, oh, okay, what are we at? Is it past the 7? Oh, I need my
Yeah, you
sunscreen.
never think about the UV, do you, when you're younger? I still
Nope.
don't think about it
Yeah.
now, to be fair. I just bump someone's like, UV's high, and I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
I always check like on your weather app. If you like scroll down a little bit, there'll be like the UV, and it'll like you can pull it up and look at the graph even like what time it's at its highest. So I try to stay out of the sun when it's at its highest or find shade. So it was the middle of the day. I was so hot, I was dying. So I walked up. I was like, "Can I share your shade?" And she's like, "Yeah, yeah." And we chatted for a little bit, just about. They're from
Nice.
Northampton.
You joking me?
No,
That's where I am.
you're not supposed to talk to yourself.
No, people know because I
Oh,
say it on stream.
yeah, maybe you know them.
They're from Northampton, out of all of the
Yeah.
counties. yes, that's they probably live within about.
I didn't actually know where. So we were talking about because I was like, I've been to like Dover, and I know people that are in like Bath and Stonehenge. So like where? And she's like, well, like right in the like middle, kind of.
Yeah.
But like on the coast, like
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
She probably lives about 25 minutes from me.
Yeah, I was
Tops.
gonna say,
Yeah.
maybe she's your neighbor.
Quite possibly.
Well,
It's a
her
small world.
husband
It's a
loved
small
the
world.
ocean.
Yeah.
We were joking about how he was like a little mermaid out on a rock out there, but
Yeah.
it's fun.
It's nice. It's nice. To be fair, Greece is a big spot for UK people anyway.
Yeah.
It's one of the
And apparently Americans too.
that Spain and Portugal and the islands. So Mallorca, Minorca, Ibiza are all very big spots for us. I say us. I'm not British, obviously, but like people from Britain. But anyway, so because obviously we've just gone into this kind of freestyle today.
Also, wait, but hang on 1 second, and I just wanted to let you know that you are the timekeeper.
I
I
am
know
the
I'm the
timekeeper.
one who
We're
usually
fine.
keeps
We're
track
all
of
good.
time,
We're all
but
okay.
I
We're
just gotta
fine.
let you
We're
know
good.
to like give
We're
me a
good. We're
T
good. We're good.
minus
We're good.
15 or 10 or whatever.
T minus
I feel
20.
so weird.
T minus
Okay, good.
20. Yeah, so we've got a bit of
I
time.
always feel so. I'm like, I can't see time. What's happening? If my phone just like dies too, sorry everyone. I guess that will be the end of the
That's the end of tis.
podcast. I have
Won't
no
ever see,
idea how
won't
much
ever see her
battery I
again.
have.
She's going to be living in Greece. Whilst because we went into this kind of freestyle, we didn't really plan this too much because we've both been very busy. You're obviously on holiday. You're doing your travels, and you're getting a bit of logging in and a couple of little kind of check-ins with live streaming. I know for me as a streamer, and I guess for other people who are routine streamers and that the thought of going away from schedules and processes and being away from your community for a while, I know whenever I've been away in the past, it makes me feel quite anxious because I'm like, I wonder if it's going to be the same when I come back, or if there's something will have changed.
Yeah.
How are you finding like being away? I know you've traveled, you've done your travel streaming before. Are you
Yeah.
finding that is there anything like in your mind that you're worried about, or do you feel quite happy that you're getting these little streams and vlogs in, or does it feel like
Yeah.
a pressure to get content out, or are you enjoying checking in with everyone? How are you finding all of the content
Yeah.
creation side of things whilst you're away? Is what I'm asking.
I think overall, I don't know, it's kind of weird because things happen so fast. Like I feel like because a lot, especially lately, because it's like I've been traveling and moving and so many things are happening.
Yeah,
I haven't really had too much time to even think about it. Or so like even like yesterday, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do a really quick just chatting stream. I had told people I had before, and then things just came up. Like I ran into people and they were like, well, let's go do dinner at this time, and I have a meeting at this time. So if you want to do your streaming, we can try to like. So it was kind of this like, okay, I have a little window to like say hi really quick and so it was like I popped on to say hello, but it's just like it doesn't I don't feel like I have necessarily enough time to really sit
mm.
unless I'm like staying in a place for longer and can like create content. And I think that with I mean numbers are always a thing, right? Where like my average viewers this month are probably going to be like 10
I
because like
think you
my
just
streams
have
are
to
like
take it out your mind, though, don't you?
yeah,
Almost, really.
because like my streams are like 10 minutes long. So like
Yeah.
and they're
Yeah, because they
there's
are.
like
Because
10 to
I'll
20
get the
minutes long.
notification on my phone, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is live," and then I'm like, "Oh, she's not live anymore."
Exactly. Like I my streams are like 10 to 20 minutes long and I give zero heads up or notification. So it's like either people click on the notification and they're there or not. And like the other night actually had like a decent I think like they had like 50 or 60 people that popped in. So
Well,
and it was a little bit
you
longer. It was like
you
2
raided me
hours.
with like close to
Yeah,
50
yeah.
people, and I was like, "Oh,
Mhm.
hey Tiz, hey, how you doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
That one went pretty well. I was like, okay,
good.
people still remember me, I guess.
Yeah, I
And
think
I think
that's
there's
I think
always
that's it. There's that fear of
there's
like,
that
do people
fear a little
remember
bit.
me? You've got a cracking community.
Yeah.
They're brilliant, and they want to know everything going on in your world whilst traveling. But yeah, there is that part of you as a streamer. It's like, are people going to find the new streamer to move on to and like watch them instead? Now,
Well, that's part of it is like so I obviously you have Discord and Instagram, you have other ways to like stay engaged
Yeah,
with your community. So there's it's like so they don't totally forget about you. But also I
yeah,
think
yeah.
sometimes it's good to like it's almost like building suspense. Like I feel like in some ways it's like you don't see it's like not being able to see your best friend for 2 months and then you pop back and you're like, I'm here and everyone's
Yeah.
like, oh hi. And so there's some of it that it's like I think it's not necessarily a negative thing. I think you probably do lose some viewers, like if there were some people that just discovered you. But I think the people that really like want to stick around and like appreciate like you or your community or whatever are still gonna be there. At least that's what I'm trying to tell myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
But I think it's not
so
like you're. Let's say you're away for 6 weeks. It's not like you're going cold turkey for 6 weeks and no one hears from you, and then you expect. Like, the fact is, you're keeping in touch with your
yeah.
community. You're doing these little
Well, and I'm
pockets of
doing like
live
the
streams.
vlog.
You're doing
Yeah.
vlogs, so they're getting drip fed this
Yeah.
tiz.
I'm still trying to like release content and
Yeah,
even
yeah,
though it looks I think that's the weirdest thing for me is it looks very different from what I'm used to and like video editing is something that I kind of hate doing. But honestly, so
she hates it so
I've
much.
been just doing it on my phone though, which actually makes it way more appealing to me.
Mm.
Like I can just do my little recordings. I throw all of my clips into CapCut and I just go through and I do a
Oh,
couple
CapCut.
little
Yeah,
edits.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and I just do my like auto captions and then I just upload it via my phone. I
Yeah.
don't think any of my links in the descriptions work or and like half of it's broken, but like
don't think people are going to mind too. I think when it comes to traveling, there's a little bit more air of understanding, isn't there? Like,
Yeah. Well, and people know like what I'm like. I let people know what I'm doing, and I think some people are excited to see the travel part of it. Like, so there's like it's like similar. I'm still releasing content. It just is different than the live streams. What I do find
yeah,
interesting though is like I do think as a variety gaming streamer, primarily, the like yesterday when I popped on for a really quick chat, I just didn't know what to say. I was like, because usually there's chat stuff and then it centers around like, oh, okay, we're playing this game or we're talking about games or we're doing these things. And so like trying to find totally different content or things to talk about, I'm like, so how
yeah.
was your
It's yeah,
day?
yeah. And then if there's not many people there, you're like, I wait till someone replies and tells me how their day
Yeah.
was, and
Well, I think as a like and it gives me a lot of because I mean we've all been there, right? Like when you first start and you have like one or two viewers and you're just kind of like shooting the shit and just trying to talk and
yeah, yeah.
that. But it's weird because like as you stream and you kind of grow from that, you get used to the new normal. And so like,
You do.
like I've been used to being in streams and being like, hey, so and so and hi so and so and blah 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 and like good to see you. How's your day? How's this? How was work today? Like you there's people that you know that you talk to. And so sometimes doing these impromptu streams, if people don't pop in, it almost like brings me back to the beginning streaming days where I'm like, what do I do? What do I s no one's saying anything. What do I say? Is it broken? Is anyone there? And I totally it gives me a lot of, empathy for starting out and that kind of feeling of, like, just screaming into the void of, like, "Is
Of
anyone out there? What are we
and and
doing?"
and you know what? It's interesting. Like, and again, this will go to people who have recently started their streaming journey. Is that it is fair play to you because it does. When you think back, like when I think back about it, you're having to build a lot of this conversation yourself with a
Yeah,
full understanding that you might not get replies back, and you're almost having to just kind of talk to no one, even though people
yeah,
might be there and listening. And as our streams grow, we have a little bit more of a helping hand from the community because there's enough of them talking to us that we can kind of
yeah.
bounce back and forward
You
off of
kinda
them and things.
it
The stream
it
goes a
gets
lot
to be a
quicker, you
big
know.
crutch.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
Yes, a
like,
crutch.
you're
That's the word. Yeah,
using
yeah,
chat to create the content,
yeah,
whereas
yeah,
like I think newer streamers it's like more power to them because it's like you have to create the content yourself and whatever that looks like. I think there's definitely like when you think about it, there's like a lot of go-tos. A lot of it is like,
yeah.
asking questions that are people can really interact with or like opinion based. Like me asking what people's favorite candy is or something is always a big like there's certain questions that people just always engage with, right?
People,
Or
yeah, I think
the
we all like it's like any, especially food related. Food. People have always
Yeah,
got
food
something
is
they want to
great.
say.
Food's a
Yeah,
great thing to talk about. And then also, just telling stories. I think that's always a really big one for stream.
yeah,
Like people like to hear, what's going on in your life or a story or like the more dramatic or fun or however you can tell something, the
yeah.
more interesting it's gonna be. I do find that like, and I don't know if you feel this way when you stream too, but I do find that I kind of like I'll like get in my head about the way that I even tell things sometimes. Like I'll be like, ooh, I don't know if I know how to say this entertainingly enough, or
Mm.
like you'll finish telling a story and it feels like crickets, and you're like,
You're like, did that grab people
mhm,
or what is that?
yep,
Yeah,
cool, cool. Cool. Although, I think best compliment I have ever received, or like close to it, was like it was the first day that I got here. I was gonna take a nap, but then I was sitting out in the hostel, and some girl came in and like asked, they're like, "Do you know so and so?" We're like, "No," and she was like, "Oh, well, he's apparently they're going to the beach and they have a rental car. I don't know if there's spaces, but if you guys want to come," and I was like, "I'm so jet lagged. I didn't sleep last night. I'm exhausted." And then they all walked in. They're like, "Oh, well, if you guys want to come, we have some spaces in the car." And I was like, when in Rome or when in Greece. So I was like, screw it, I'll come. So we were just like driving around in the car and like beach hopping and stuff. But it's kind of like that beginning of none of us really knew each other, right? So it's like, what do you do? And asking the
yeah.
questions. And one of them at some point said, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said something about like, oh, he's like, I'm starting to see why people enjoy watching your streams. He's like, you just say really, he's like, I love your little like quirky remarks and things. And the other person in the car was like, yeah, I was just thinking that too. Like, you're really funny and engaging. And I was like,
Oh, oh, that's
like,
nice. Oh,
I feel like a
oh,
lot.
Oh, is
But
this?
people want-
So tell me then, going back to our previous podcasts, have you plugged your URL anywhere? Have you? You know, I've done it on the airplanes and on the pub windows and that. Did you give them your twitch.tv/TizFizzy?
No, never.
So you've not gained any followers from them. None of them have
I got a lot
followed
of
you.
Instagram followers. I don't want them to watch my Twitch. It's
Why?
embarrassing.
Why? You've just made new
They're
friends.
They're
Plug
real
it, girl. You need to plug
people.
it.
No.
Missing out there.
Yeah,
I would have
did
plugged it. Do you
last
know what
time
I
a
would have
little
done?
bit.
As soon as we got to the beach, would have drawn it in the sand. Twitch.tv/ShakyJakyB. What I would have done? Would have written it on the wall in the hostel. I don't know who wrote that. It wasn't me.
This is why
Obviously,
we make
someone
a
who's
good
a fan.
team,
Yeah.
because you can
Because I
you can
shameless
do
plug.
the self-promotion and the marketing and
Yes. That's fine. Fine by me. Hey, look, we're on 49 subscribers now, so we're almost at 50. I do need to do a bit more. I need to do a bit more. I've just not had the time with this
I did
megathon
tell
thing.
some people about the podcast though,
Did you?
because I said that I was like doing the podcast and they're like, "What's it called?" And I was like, "The Unwind Online podcast." We kind of just talk about things.
Mhm.
And he's like, "That's a really good name." I was like,
Mhm.
"Thank
So make sure you are nice to them in this podcast in case they watch it. Hi, Tiz's friends in Greece.
Yes, no, they've all been so lovely.
They've all been wonderful. You're all great. You're all great. So yeah, no, I think going back to the traveling and that, yeah, it's good that you're keeping in touch with the community and doing these little pockets of streams and getting your YouTube stuff out. I think for me, a lot of it is that kind of FOMO of like, I've worked so hard to build a community and set a schedule and a routine that if I walk away from that for a week or 2 weeks, am I going to lose a lot of the ground I've gained? That's the way I always looked at it.
You are one of the most. Well, it's funny because I was gonna say you're like one of the most FOMO people that I've ever met. Like whenever we play Minds of Moria or something.
Fucking have the worst FOMO of anyone. I'm like, oh, did you? Mm-hmm. Okay, great, cool. I guess I'll just go and die in a corner.
Anyone plays any games without you. But what's so funny though is like
I'm really bad.
I'm really bad. That, and I was like, oh yeah, Shakey's always like that. But we're so similar, and I think I'm also the same. Like part of the reason I was about to kill myself with my sandals are falling apart, and I have barefoot shoes that are making my feet hurt because the first time I've worn them. And I was like, I'm gonna do this 11-mile hike because I am here on this island, and I am not gonna miss out on this. And I was like, this is a lesson in FOMO for me, that it's okay. It's okay to miss out and do something different. It's not the end of the world.
I know. I just don't like. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that was great, wasn't it? I was like, I wouldn't know, I wasn't there, so I was like, it's fine, whatever, it's cool.
You get so sassy.
I get proper salty. Yeah, I get really salty, which I shouldn't do because I can't be everywhere at once, and people get to live their lives how they want. I don't like missing out on fun things with people that I'm friends with. Yeah, but yeah,
no,
I think
I totally get that. But I do think that like a lot of that lends to also having to have that balance of self-care because, like you said, you can't be everywhere at once. Or like with my thing here, like it was a smarter choice for me to rest, especially with how crazy things have been at the beginning of this. And so missing out, or like even with the community and streaming things and worrying about what that's going to look like when you're away, I think it's probably healthier not to. I don't know how not to necessarily.
Yeah, I get it.
Any tips on not having FOMO? I mean, you're probably the worst person to ask, but I don't know if you do any ideas.
No. Like, I mean, no. Actually,
like, no,
you're gonna miss out a load of shit. You're fucked. You're screwed. But no, you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. The thing is, all of these things, you're not missing anything really, ultimately, because it's TwitchCon at the end of the month. You're gonna be at TwitchCon.
Too.
Yeah.
I feel like I haven't been able to pop into very many streams. Like all of my app and like pop in and say hi if I can, but like most of the time I don't have internet I only have internet when I'm at the hostel. So if I'm out and about, I just feel like it's kind of like an all or nothing thing where I kind of just don't even feel like I'm doing Twitch, even though I'm doing content right now. So I feel that.
But I think whilst you're out there, though, you've got to make the most of where you are. And I don't think, I mean, yes, if it's the evening and you're chilling at the hostel and you've got like a spare 10 minutes, pop in and say hello to someone if you fancy it. But don't beat yourself up over not doing it, because I think ultimately you told everyone where you were going. People know where you are. They don't expect that from you. And also, I think all it means is when you do come back to this kind of your solid streaming setup is that you're going to have a big return when you come back and people will be excited to see you.
Well, also do think that it's always good to. I think people get really afraid to take breaks from Twitch or
I
take
get
breaks from streaming,
so
but it's
bad.
so good for your mental health. Like
Oh god, yeah. Yep.
I almost felt like when I was like engaging or like making these hostile friends yesterday, I almost felt like a little piece of me returning. Like I feel like I've just been
That's
like
nice.
sequestered by myself and
Yeah.
there's not been a whole lot of people to socialize with. So it was almost like rediscovering my personality and like who I am a little bit while being out there.
Yeah, yeah. That's
And so I
good.
do think that there is a piece of it where like it's so easy to get stuck in our routines that like, even if we're scared of missing out on some things, that it's really important to do the things that bring you joy and make you happy and that like whatever that looks like, whether it's like travel or crafts or new hobbies or whatever. But
I think it will be a little.
yeah,
I think it's a bit of a refresh, isn't it, and a recharge as well. Hopefully, when you're away. I mean, the only
both
reason I'm not. Yeah,
draining and refreshing.
yeah. The only reason I'm not too, I'm not stressed out about Rotterdam because people know that TwitchCon's happening, so a lot of people will be away anyway. And I've got a goal on my megathon to, if we hit certain points, I'll do a live stream from our apartment, and I'll get a couple of the guys in, like Human Syrian, Crazy Hazy, and that. And then
Invite me over.
I
I'll
can
hang out with
invite you over, and then on the Saturday or the Sunday, I'm gonna sign up to
Oh, you're gonna keep streaming at TwitchCon too?
yeah. So I'm gonna do the Logitech and the Streamlabs pod like I did last year, which is just an hour
Oh,
slot,
yeah,
just an hour to chat.
yeah.
And then also I've got this fucking I mean, we'll probably do a podcast episode when
Yeah,
we're
we gotta do
there.
a podcast.
So and then by that time, that weekend is just like gone. It's just a long weekend away. It's mad. It's not going to be a break. It'll be nice, but it's not going to be a break as such. But
It's gonna be crazy.
I am looking forward to it. I'm not very nervous as well, but I am looking forward to it. It should be good. I've also, just before I go, I've set some of the goals a little bit too low on my megathon, which is a bit of a problem. So within the first 2 days, that they'd hit 17 of the goals. And I'm really worried because I'm currently the next goal, which I'm only about 5 or 6 subs away from, probably, is dyeing my hair purple. So
I can see that you set that as a goal.
yeah, so
Like all of it.
yeah. So I think I'll be purple for TwitchCon. Yeah. So and some of these, I'm looking back at them, I'm like, I didn't actually think these were going to happen because like one of them is like,
because I'm sure we're running close to time, but like, do you ever feel like when you do subathon goals, there's a part of me that it's like it's incredible because you get the support and like especially if this is something that you're doing full time, it's like, oh my god, that's amazing, thank you. But there's also a little part of you like when I get into like longer subathons that even by like the day 3, you're like, no, it's okay, or like we don't have to hit that.
Yeah, that's fine. You don't need to do that anymore. Because I've set some. One of there's a couple I've set, and one of them is like, one of them is a tattoo, and I'm like, okay, like I didn't think that was gonna happen, but I mean, if it does happen, it does happen. I mean, I've got tattoos anyway, so it's not like it's a new thing to me. No, it's a tattoo of one of the little characters, one of the little mascots we have for stream. So, but it's just the fact that you set these goals fully expecting some of them to not really be achieved, and you almost put them out of your mind, and then people are like, not long till we get to that one, and I'm like, oh fuck. so that's gonna happen. Great. Like there's one like
with my head shave.
Yeah, there's one where I've done one in about 1,000 points time where it's like leg waxing live, so I get my legs waxed on stream. Well, so all of these things, yeah. I was eating buldak spicy noodles the other day.
Like one strip?
I think a couple of strips on each leg.
You gotta do more than. Then we're gonna come help you. You're gonna
plus plus. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to turn up to Twitch going like super waxed legs, aren't I? I'm not gonna wear any shorts. Yeah,
you love doing it.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, I am. It's great how supportive everyone's been, and like my community being supportive of this. Your community is supporting you during all your travels and your journey, and obviously you had they helped you do lots of nice things before you came on holiday as well. I would say before we wrap up the stream, I would say what's your favorite game of the week? But I don't think you're playing video games at the moment, are you?
Still Clair Obscur though.
Mine is also Clair Obscur as well.
I'm saying you dabbled. I love it.
I wasn't gonna get it, and then I wasn't gonna get it.
More of it right now, but
I wasn't gonna get it, and then one of your lovely community members was like, what's it going to take for you to play that like tomorrow? I was like, well, and then they did a really kind thing, and I was like, we're playing Clair Obscur. So yeah, because I couldn't. It doesn't work on my PC, but they got me. They paid for a PS5 version, so I'm playing on PS5.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I fell in love with it straight away, like everyone else. The music, the story, everything's super emotional. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's great.
Yeah.
So we're on the hour mark, actually.
Just for plan 2, which side? Because we always give each other
that side. Towards the teal wall behind you there. Yeah. So I've got to be. You've got to be up a bit. Up.
Okay, but we have to do our whole
Yeah, but hang on.
Episode?
No. Just we just practice this. Go up a bit. Up. There, right there. So that's where you need to be. You remember that? Your hand. Yeah. Oh, your hand is so much bigger than mine in this. It's because you're closer to the camera than me. That's better. There we go. That's where we need to be. So I might. Okay. Listen. Right. Yes. Go on. What were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say new podcast episodes. We're still trying to stay to our schedule of Wednesday. Was it 2 p.m. MST? Which
2 p.m. MST, which is 9 p.m. British Standard GMT English time, which is 11 p.m. Central European time? No. No, that's only an hour ahead. I don't know where you are now. I think it's like maybe Central Eastern Time +1 or something like that, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so if you're in Greece,
so tomorrow,
11 o'clock at night in Greece, you can expect these episodes to come out. For all of your friends over in Greece, if you want to see when Tiz is going to drop the next podcast, she should be throwing those URLs out there, really, but she's not. So she's got a lot to learn.
Until next time,
stay gorgeous and glorious. Stay frisky and fine. Stay wispy and wondrous. And yeah, I don't know what we're going to talk about next week. Yeah, that's it. There we go. Say bye. See ya.